On this week's episode of Through the Trauma podcast, you're going to notice something a little bit different. I sit down with not one guest, but two, and we are going to discuss dating after 40. Now, yes, I know it's a hot topic because many of you guys are entering back into the dating field after maybe a divorce or a broken relationship. And let's be honest, we've lived a lot of life at 40 years old, and we're carrying a lot of things, maybe trauma, maybe baggage, maybe things that is affecting us going into new relationships. This is something that we need to talk more about, and we need to have more conversations around, because so many people are looking for their person and they just can't find it in the world that we live in. So if this describes you, this is a great episode. I invite you to continue to listen, as I think you will get a lot of value out of it. An exploration of trauma, transformation, and triumph. Your healing starts here. And we are back with another episode of Through the Trauma podcast. I'm Amber, your host. And today I have a very special recording with two of my good friends here, Amanda and Leah. And we are going to get into this conversation of dating after 40 from a female perspective. If you're a woman, this is a great episode for you. If you're a man, you should probably tune in as well, because you might learn some things. So I'm going to let these ladies give a little bit of an introduction of who they are. And then we're just going to jump into some great conversations. So Amanda, you want to go first?
Yes, I'm Amanda, and I am the owner and operator of Mandy's Meals and Maid Services. It's a passion of mine to just help people eat cleaner and healthier and know that they can enjoy it. But that's about it. Leah?
Awesome.
Boorse. I'm a third generation artist. I reside here in Nashville, Tennessee. I specialize in large scale murals and portraits. Art has been a passion, something I grew up with and became a passion, and now my full-time job.
Yeah, so it is so awesome to be in the company of two other women who are also highly driven on passion projects, because as most of you guys who are listening know, that this is a passion project of mine. And Through the Trauma podcast, I love connecting with purpose-driven women. And it's so funny because I don't know if you've ever met people on social media that you're like, I feel like I know them, but I don't know them, but I think I might know them. That is kind of how this happened. And why don't you guys tell us a little bit about kind of how this come about? Because how we met was, well, how we started talking about the podcast was they had posted dating after 40 is crazy. And it's just I tell people it's a jungle out there. And so they had posted something on social media, and then I jumped in. I'm like, come on my podcast. So here we are. So how did that post come about, ladies?
Mini conversation. Yes.
Yeah, many conversations. And it just, it kind of started like, so I have a couple friends, all of us girlfriends are talking, and I'm like, oh, this guy I might actually be interested in, who's in my inbox, right? And I'm like, hey, are you talking to him, or has he been in your inbox? She was like, yep, girlfriend number 3, yep, it's 10 of us. And I'm like, really? Like, so it just, the post stems from that. Whenever you feel like a guy might be interested, but then he's talking to all your girlfriends and saying the exact same thing, it's like, okay.
Right. It got to where it got sadly to where, like, every time she would decide to entertain anybody in a conversation, she would send them first and be like, hey. And I'm like, it's really sad that that's how it is. And it's okay for, like, when a guy's single, it's okay to have conversations with,
But yeah, which I expect.
But
But
it's
it's just
a cookie cutter, like, drop of the line to see who bites thing, where it's just like, that's why it makes women nowadays, like, and that's how people meet now. Unfortunately, you don't walk up in person as much. People are sending a message, and it's like you get standoffish because you're like, I don't even want to sift through to figure out who's genuine.
yeah.
It becomes like those text messages or those group chats where people, like, they're trying to sell you something and they drop into your DMs and they're like, hey, are you struggling with your podcast growth? And it's like, you sound like 50 other people that have messaged me today.
Yes.
And it is very much like that. I feel like that too.
Yes.
And then there's the guys who will message you like 100 texts. Like, I get busy. I paint typically, like, when I start working, I work for 9 hours straight. I put my headphones on, I ignore the world. You can ask Amanda, like, my response time on the phone is absolutely atrocious. It's horrible. But anyways, so I'll get hi, hello, hi. And then question marks. Then it turns angry. Well, you know what? F you then. And I'm like, And this happens more times than not. It's a wild.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Amanda.
In your 40s. That's where it blows my mind. Like, we all know that we're busy. We all know it's like, I feel like it's the instant access that people think that they are entitled to an immediate response. And then if not, they get their feelings hurt. It's not even like it's literally like a trigger for them. Like, they start thinking, you're not interested. You're ignoring them. They know you were in your phone. They know you were, and it's like, I could be in my phone, but I'm not checking my text messages right this minute because I don't have time for conversation, or, whatever the case may be. And I think it goes both ways. That's men and women that have that
Oh,
issue,
definitely.
that
Definitely.
instant access, and it's like, sometimes, listen, if you're interested in somebody, as soon as you get a chance, you're going to reply to them. I believe that. But I don't expect it when I know it's within business hours. And you know what I mean? It's the false instant access is, I think, ruins a lot of it.
It's somewhat petty and childish, I feel like, at times. And I've had guys respond back to me as like, I saw you were on Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you know I use Instagram for work? Do you know that I'm on there answering messages? I mean, it's almost comical because I do not understand. And it goes back to what you were saying, Amanda, about this entitlement where there's these expectations that everybody is supposed to message you back, or people wear emotions. I've been on this whole emotion kick recently of how people wear their emotions like right on their sleeve. And it's like they get upset when things are not performing how they think they're supposed to be performing. And then it draws out the worst in people. It's like, learn to manage your emotions. I've had to work really hard to try to manage mine. Like, I want someone that can manage their emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was saying, because as women, we're emotional creatures as it is. So when I can handle mine better than you as a man, that's a problem.
It is a problem. It's immediately unattractive. I'm like immediately out at that point too. I'm just.
Yeah. So you guys are both single?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Very much.
Yeah. Because it's hard. It's hard. And I think that, we had talked before we jumped on here, Amanda, you were talking about like you have kids and trying to tell your daughters like, hey, look, it doesn't get better. And it's unfortunate because I believe it goes back to this idea of traditionally, obviously, we're supposed to be in a relationship long term. But in the culture and the world that we live in, divorce runs rampant and it's everywhere. And I've met a lot of ladies. I mean, now it's a rare thing for women to stay married for the duration. I think years ago, people would look at it and be like, well, maybe they're a widow, or maybe they're this, or maybe they're that. But now it's like almost everybody. I have so many friends divorced, and it's hard to navigate that. And especially coming out of a divorce. I've been divorced now. Well, I've been divorced like 5 years, split up. So separated 7 of those. The divorce took 2 years. And I'm just now getting to the place where I'm like, I can finally date and feel like I'm healed. Now, I know healing comes on all different levels or whatever, but how much do you guys think that these reactions and responses that you get from men come from jumping back into the dating game before they're actually healed?
A lot. You've got to put the work in, and there's so many men and women a lot that have not put that work in. And I think that is the biggest problem. It's just, and two, it's like people have a hard time being alone, I feel like. And so, they jump into one relationship after another, and are the responses on Facebook messaging, for instance, like you definitely have to put the work in. And I would say 90% of the population probably has not.
I think for men, it's even more of a hard for them to accept that they need to do that work. Like, I'm fine. Because they're kind of built to like just push it down.
Yeah.
And keep going, and that's how that's the manly thing to do. But unfortunately, we're left with, and this is not every man, because I cannot stand when people blanket people, because it's just terrible. Or the whole sex or whole race or anything, it just really bothers me. But we're left with a lot of men who blame women. It's just women's fault. Women as a whole. We this, we that, we this, and they blame everybody else. And I say all the time, I'm like, it's so easy to leave a relationship and say it's somebody else's fault. And sometimes it really does feel that way. And it would be really easy. Like when my divorce, my husband cheated on me. So it would have been really easy for me to walk away from that and just go, he cheated on me. When people said, why did it fail? He cheated on me. That's why. But instead, at 40 years old, I'm now divorced, coming back to the States. We were stationed in Germany at the time. He was military, and coming back with 2 kids in tow, babies, and nothing because I had to wait for my stuff to be shipped, like this terrible, terrible place. And I had to say to myself, what part did I play in this to get me where I'm at right now? Where did I go wrong to create an environment, not excusing what he did, but where that's what he wanted to do? And I had to accept that. 7 years of therapy and a shameful amount of books read later. I'm fully aware of a lot of things that I did wrong. Right. And so it's like I take responsibility. Too many people I notice, it's just like it's everybody else's fault. And I did a post the other day, said it. I was like, if it's always the other person, you're probably yeah, and you're not even realizing, you know what I mean? And that's the problem. You're not getting where you are, even from the point of you're picking these people. So right there, like you're part of the problem because you pick her. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And
Yeah.
so I see it all the time. And it just, I think as we get older, like talking about dating after your 40s, it gets even harder because when you do become more self-aware, right? And you do all these things, you recognize when it hasn't been done a lot faster. And it's just like, so it's harder to connect.
I feel like you are so, so right about taking accountability. And that is something that I have, like, over the last few years of myself being single, is really like taking accountability for what I did do wrong, even though I left in, an emotionally and physically abusive relationship. I had to stay single for quite some time to really just do the self work. And it feels like something, even though I feel like I'm ready to date and everything too, I'm still just like, I'm hesitant. Because like what Amanda was saying, once you do that work, you do see those red flags, you do see things differently. And now I feel like I need to do more work because I'm like, oh, did you just breathe wrong? Red flag, which I'm being obviously a smart ass about, but it's just, that's kind of where I'm.
And I agree with you. And it's funny to hear I haven't heard a lot of people say this, but I've came to the same realization where I was like, I need to look at what did I do wrong? Because I got into some masterminds and things after my divorce. And one of the things that they really taught in there was like not having this victim mentality. And one of the activities they had us do in this mastermind was to write a list of all the things you want in a spouse or in a person that of interest. And then after you do that, then she's like, okay, now write a list of all the things you have to become to be that person. And that's when I think that's when it really clicked for me. Like, I need to focus on the things that I also did because a marriage takes 2 people. There was an affair in mine as well. But what did I do to contribute? Or I know I wasn't a great wife in the beginning. I was very selfish. I expected a lot. And I don't want that to happen should I get married again. But I had to wait a long time and it took a lot of self-reflection and self-growth. But this is a question I have for you guys here. So, like, do you think that the more that you invest in your own self-growth and the more that you get more knowledgeable around self-growth, the more that you kind of see bullshit and you don't want to entertain it?
1,000%.
Make it easier. Thought when I started the process of working, and I feel like you never stop. People say healed. I don't believe that. I don't believe you're ever really healed. I believe that you learn to cope, you learn, your triggers, you change your habits, but you're constantly healing all the time. That's what I believe. But I thought that when I started this process, and I was like, when I become whole again, and when I'm more self-aware, and when I'm more aware of the psyche, because I got really wrapped into the psyche of male and females and the differences, because it's so cool. I thought it's gonna be so much easier. It's harder. It's harder to connect because you recognize so much. Like literally, I get made fun of like the one date wonder because my friends are like, "How was it?" And it sounds so like, but it's like you completely know what you can and cannot do. And then also when the conversation's coming in right away broken, like and when I say broken, immediately talking about their ex and their dog in them. Or immediately everything's somebody else's problem. I recognize that immediately. And I'm like, I get this, like, I gotta go. Like immediately, I already know that I just don't even, because I don't want to mother somebody. I don't want to love them through it. I don't want to do that. I want someone to come prepared. Now we're going to grow together, going to do all those things. I get all that, but not, you know what I'm talking about. It's very different. It makes it harder. And I thought it would make it easier, 1000%. But I also think that, my personal belief, and it's probably Leah might disagree with me on this, but I think that we're not living like we were supposed to, like we were meant to. And I get a little biblical on it, but it is very much, to me, men, we're supposed to be in a relationship. We're built like that. We're built for community, but a female was made for a male. Like that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to complement each other. And we're very different on purpose. I believe God built us that way on purpose because we complement each other. But we, in our earthly ways, have messed it all up. And we can't figure it out. And everybody is so concerned with all the earthly things, the money, the this and that nobody's taking care of each other. They're just trying to get more, trying to get more, trying to get more. And there's households where nobody's being taken care of. They're fending for themselves, to include the children. There's no tradition. There's no the way that it, you know what I mean? That the man's role, the female's role, it's so grayed that no one knows where they stand. Everybody's just trying to figure it out on their own while they're in the relationship. And I feel like that's the biggest issue. I just do.
Part was I'm going to disagree about, because I agree with all of that. All of it, yes.
I thought you might not agree, because I believe in traditional roles as
I am as well.
Yeah, as independent as I am, I'm like, please let me be feminine. I'm masculine.
What to do?
I think the hard thing has become, because culture has pushed it's confusing now, like the whole roles. And this is great, because this is going to lead me into kind of like the next part where I want to go with this conversation, which is I think men would find it really valuable, and even the younger ladies that might listen to this, what are things that are tolerable and intolerable when it comes to dating or relationship? Because I also believe in traditional roles as well. However, we live in a culture right now where it is so hard to have those traditional roles. Take working, for example. You know, now it's like a lot of times you need both parties working, or you need someone that is super successful, the man being super successful, to be the provider. And so it's really hard to find that. Also, I believe that and this is a touchy subject, and we can go down this avenue if you guys want, but this idea of, because I also believe when we read scripture, Bible says that the man should be the provider. He is the one who goes and hunts and takes care of the family and provides. However, we see a lot of men now that's like, oh no, we got to go half on everything. Everything's half. I'm not a provider. And then if you're like, no, you should be a provider, it's like, oh, you're a gold digger. You just want a man's money.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And the thing is I feel like a lot of times they both do have to work. And sometimes that's just what it is. You know what I mean? He's a provider, but it's just not enough money for you to live the lifestyle that you guys need to live. Or maybe you have 5 children, whatever the case may be, where two people do have to work. There are still ways for the man to take on the man's role and the woman to take the woman's role and still help each other. And so you still have those roles. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, as far as simple as the man takes out the trash, the man does the lawn, the man fixes the things in the house. But some guys can't even, I can fix things better than a man can a lot of times in the house. You know, it's like,
you're not wrong.
It's so great. It's so messed up that there's no roles, like male, female roles anymore. It's not right, Leah? Like, I really don't feel like it is.
Yeah, no. I typically know more how to fix things. For instance, I had a date who wanted to come help me with one of the murals that I was painting. And he's like, well, I'll just come help you look this stuff. And then we were going to go out to eat. He picked up my ladder, and it's one that extends out. He messed with it forever. And I'm like, he has no idea how to use this freaking ladder. And then I had him drill something into the wall as we were taking it off to pick. He didn't know how to use my drill. And I'm like, to me, it was like, oh, this is going to be a one and done date. And I appreciate the tip to help, but I was just like, boy, you need to know how to use a ladder. I
Yeah.
often feel like more of the man in the relationship, which is once again reflecting on myself. Like, why do I keep getting with these men who aren't really men?
Right. I think there's value in, and a lot of men are missing nowadays, like you were saying, Amber, about they call you a gold digger if you're wanting to do roles. And men have forgotten the value of a woman in her feminine, meaning a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You're providing the house, but she's making it a home. She is taking care of the house. She takes care of all the meals and the cooking and I love doing all that. Hence Mandy's meals and maid service. Like I love that's how I feel natural. That feels natural to me. But it's almost like they've taken the value of away from what it means to have a parent at home raising your kids instead of somebody else. Taking care of the home, providing the meals and cooking a home cooked meal and all that thing. It's as if that's expected and you're supposed to work.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I found that to be.
Work too. You're a gold digger. You just want my money.
Well, and see, to me, it's important for somebody to have money as well because I am so driven and I work so extremely hard. I have to have somebody who matches that. So dating somebody who is broke is out of the question because I'm not broke and I can't I work and that's an important thing to me. And I have no, I very much do like the traditional roles. Will I ever stop working as hard? I thought about that. Maybe if I had somebody who was,
Well, I can add to this because actually, when I was married, my husband did not want me to work. He wanted me to stay home with the kids. He
Mhm.
wanted me to be very traditional. He was very traditional in that. And I had a problem with that. I didn't like it. And the reason why is because I also am a hard worker. Both my parents they work and that's just how I was raised. And I loved being I am a creative at heart. And I think you probably are too, Leah. I needed something to like fuel my passion. And it was really hard for me when I did stay home. I'm thankful for the time that I got to stay home with my little ones. And it sounds like a paradox. It sounds like you're just never happy, Amber. Like you're not happy being at home all the time. You're not happy working all the time. Like what makes you happy? I go back to scripture and I think, okay, in a traditional role, you had the man who was the provider, you had the woman who was the homemaker, but you read Proverbs 31, she still went out and she did things and it's like what you said, Leah, she supported her husband. She did the things that helped the household but she was also working. She was going out to the marketplace selling stuff and doing things. I think God puts a different plan in each of our hearts, a different destiny in each of our hearts. And at the end of the day, for me anyway, when I think of a relationship, I'm like, I need support. I have a huge passion project that God's placed on my heart. I need support for that.
Yeah.
I don't want your money, but I also want you to be a provider. And I like what you said, Leah. I love that because you do want someone who can match your energy and can
Mhm.
motivate you and inspire you and encourage you to do the things that God has placed on your heart. Because people can detour you from that too.
Mhm.
So it's a fine line, I think, sometimes.
Yeah. And I relate to not when I was a stay-at-home mom and married, I always had to do something on the side. I did a little fitness training or because I couldn't just stay home. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I had the luxury because he was a provider to do stuff on a schedule around the kids, do like, you know what I mean? And also do whatever it was that made me happy to do outside the home, which now is Mandy's meals, and have the luxury of growing that. When you're doing it by yourself, it's a lot harder to grow your passion and do all things because you have all the bills and you have all the responsibilities and have to do all the things
Yeah.
for people to come together. Provider is such like a taboo word to say anymore.
Which is crazy.
But I feel like the men who are providers actually don't have a problem with that word, and they don't have a problem with it. They're usually already married or something, but
Right.
I'm like, but no, I've met, a few just genuinely natural providers, and then of course I wasn't interested in them. But there are men out there who I very much feel, are providers who do exist, who are wonderful people. It's just
Do you think that there's ever, because I've found this to be true as well, some men who are very, very prominent and like, hey, I'm a provider and I want to do all these things for you. There's a level of control. They
yes,
also want control.
yep.
Yeah. I've found that too, like the trophy wife syndrome.
I can see from Amanda's face right now. She's like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've been divorced 10 years, and I've only had 2 boyfriends in that time. And so the first one was I was just too it was too early. It was a year after my divorce, and he was just Mr. Prince Charming, a lot younger than me, easy on the eyes, that type of thing. And it just was doomed from beginning, couple years, and it was over. But then I hadn't dated anybody for a long time and I really wanted it to happen organically. I'm like, I don't want to meet anybody online. I don't want to meet somebody in my DMs and then go into on a date and what's your favorite color and what do you do? I just want to meet someone and meet them like in a group setting and kind of get to know them as a friend and then have it evolve. That's what I wanted so bad. And it ended up happening, but it ended up happening with a guy that I was like from from jump was like, no, I wasn't attracted to him. I just thought red flag. No, I just get an ick from you. And he learned me over being in the groups or whatever. Long
Mm-hmm.
story short, that was very much the situation. Very much put me in a bad place because I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to hustle. Like, let that go. I want you to come with me on my business trip. I want you to come here. I want you to do this. And next thing you know, he's got me like this because I've pretty much just was like, okay. And then it was, I don't know if I want this anymore. And it was, mind you, a tactic because he thought that I would beg. Because he thought he had me in a weak enough position that I would be like, please, I can't like this. And I was like,
Mhm.
this is my sweet spot, sweetie.
Yeah.
Like you're mistaking me for somebody. But I've been in that situation where and I didn't even realize it until hindsight. And I thought, wow, all these years of all the work that I've done. And I really, for real, was thinking he was just he was a very masculine man and trying to lead. And I didn't see it until I was in
Mhm.
it. And I
Right.
was like, wow. Yeah. So they're very much, providers and very much, they're doing all the things, providing everything and allowing you to breathe. You're like, oh, wow, this is so nice. Not realizing that they're gaining the control that they want. Yeah, that's scary. It's scary out here, period. It just is.
Yeah, yeah, it's very, very scary. If you've not experienced that before, it is for sure because it's hard to see the signs of that until it's too late. And even I feel like I see the signs, but even I have had situations where it's like that. You're a little bit into it. I don't want to say so far into it, but you're a little bit into it to the point of you're like, this feels a little bit like you want me to let go of everything of mine and just do you. And I didn't like that feeling at all.
And it's like with the red flags, you're like, wait, is this a red flag or is this like? And so I struggle with that because I'm like, the love bombing thing feels so good, but then I'm like, yeah,
Have you seen that meme on social media? It's like, of course you would love bomb me. Who wouldn't? Of
I
course,
post
everyone loves
that.
me.
Of course I fall for love bombing. What talking about? Yeah.
Who wouldn't love bombing? No, it's funny, but yes, the love bombing is a huge, huge thing because you're right. And there's another guy that I follow on social media, and he was talking about how when you first start dating someone, you can be like so like it your whole day, all you think about is like that person, that person, that person. And you start seeing their red flags, and you're like,
Yeah.
never mind.
Connection too, like when you connect with someone, because I feel like as we get older, you don't connect as often. So when it happens and you're like, hold on, I like this person. You know what I mean?
Right?
We're like, well, wait a minute. Is this, you'll make excuses for them for the issues. You'll be like, well, maybe it's just this or maybe that. And I've realized that we will kind of let go of what we know better. Like women have a gut instinct. We
Yep,
really,
very much.
and anytime you don't follow it, you learn every time. Every time. But we want to ignore that gut when we have that like feeling.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I want to ask you, ladies, like, if you had to say what probably your biggest pet peeve, and let's separate this down into like your biggest pet peeve when someone reaches out to you, and then we'll talk about your biggest pet peeve like while dating, because I think this is good information for people to know. And I'm curious how much we differ us being kind of at the same stage in life, how much that differs. And even my audience listening, like how much that would differ for them. So let's start with what's your biggest pet peeve with like the initial reach out, the initial conversation before you even meet the person?
My biggest pet peeve is when they immediately go to something sexual. Hey, sexy. Hey, babe. Hey, don't. It's disrespectful. Do not call me sexy. Do not call me baby. Do not, and I paint nude women. And I feel like that gives men like an open like way to being like, and I'm like, absolutely not. I don't do it for just because you find it sexy. It's not what it's for. Women have beautiful bodies where it's empowering or breastfeed babies. So it's more of the power with women. And so immediately getting, hey, sexy, I'm like, ignore.
Yep. I'll do the same thing. What about you, Amanda?
Pretty much the same thing. The hey, beautiful. I think one of my biggest things is, so if they reach out and you don't reply, and then they continue to reach out, it makes it uncomfortable.
It makes it. I've had inbox messages from, like I said, 2017, where it's like a consistent. And just recently, like the other day, like it's hi, hello, how are you? And then one guy was like, of course, we're not going to mention names, but it was like a long years of hi. And then it was, how do I get rid of you? I don't respond. And then he's like, how many men are you talking to at once? If don't respond. And then he keeps going, hi, Leah, hi, beautiful. I'm like, and I block him, but like people like that, but he's been entertaining. So I've just haven't responded since 2017.
I feel like,
And they don't get the point, I guess. Anyway,
not even to get the point. It's just, I don't understand that concept. It must be a different thing with men, because I know maybe the guys could tell us. Like, I have guys tell me the DMs that they get, and I'm like, oh my gosh, really? Women do?
Yeah, they get some wild ones too.
They get stuff from women. Yeah. So I'm not acting like they don't deal with stuff because I've seen it. I have more guy friends than female friends, so they share some things. But if I reached out to somebody now, I have reached out to, but I've got to be really intrigued, because it's so out of my comfort zone. It's so not. I very much feel like the man is the hunter. And
me too.
yes. And in the beginning, a lot of guys can't tell if I'm interested or not, because I will wait for them to reach out to me. And they're so used to women that are like, hey, I hope you had a great day. Good morning. But I'm not doing that, because I'm gauging your level of interest.
Yeah.
I want to play.
Completely agree.
Being reached out to a good morning and then that's it. I will literally like say to a guy, I don't need your drive by good morning. Thank you. Have a nice day. Like, I'm not doing it. If that's all you get, and then you say good morning back and they don't say anything else to you at all till the next day, good morning. No. Like,
no.
You know what I mean? Those things are like, for me too. But I just don't understand the mindset of the repeated message, because if I send someone and they don't respond, I'm never saying another word. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just embarrassed myself, and that'd be it. So I don't understand the mindset. So that to me is like, you're not going to get a good response if you continue. But female, I don't think many females are going to be like, you know what? He's really been at it for like 6 months, talking to himself in his messenger. I'm going to give him a shot because he's a go-getter. Like, that's not what we think. It's not.
No.
We think that it's kind of weird. It's like, why are you doing that? Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, and my biggest thing I will say is I don't like small talk, especially. I get it if someone reaches out the first time and they're like, hey, good morning, beautiful. And you don't respond. Look, if you're going to come into my DMs, like, say something with substance. And to me, it's just like going to, if I'm doing sales, if I'm doing a sales outreach and I'm trying to sell someone my photography packages or whatever, if I'm going for a job interview, like, I'm going to do a little bit of research on that particular job. I'm going to try to let them know I'm interested in that particular job. Not like you're just one on my list of 50 that I'm reaching out to every day. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What? I don't have the time. I'm a busy person. I have 2 kids. I do not have the time to say good morning. I don't even have the time to open up my phone.
Just say, hey, what is your favorite restaurant? Can I take you there?
Yeah. Or just a kind, just like, hey, I've been noticing you on social media. You're saying XYZ. I really agree with you on these points. That to me that's respectable. And I don't care if I don't know you, if you're a stranger and I see that message, I'm going to be like, oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. You know, versus like,
Yeah.
But the sexual stuff I can't do either. One sexual thing and we're done. We're
Done.
blocked. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I don't have the time, energy, or effort. And it's
Know me. That's disrespectful.
so disrespectful.
Have you ladies ever had somebody reach out and then it's an unsolicited picture immediately after they reach out? I've had this a few times and they're like, "Oh my God, I didn't mean to send that." I'm like, how do you accidentally send a dick pic and not mean to? Like, how do you just accidentally do that?
I haven't got that in a really, really long time.
It's been a minute, but I'm just like, oh boy, let's just say don't ever do that. Just don't.
Yeah, if you're a man and you're listening to this, please don't do that.
Don't do
Save
that.
us. Save
You'll
us.
be blocked so fast.
We don't want to see it.
And then I will
Got it
send
all
it
the
to all of my friends and be like, block him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to see it. I don't.
No.
I don't like, I feel like it's disrespectful when they pretend they're interested in my business. I'm very busy. Do not
You mean like your
waste
Mandy's
my
meals.
time with an open and like, hey, tell me about your meals.
Mhm.
No intention of
Right.
ordering from me.
Now, if they order from you and they invest in your business, then they're like, can I take you on a date? That's different.
Yeah.
But if they're just inquiring to try to get you on the phone or talk to you, and I've had that before as well. And I
To
don't
get
like
you to
that
answer
either.
them because they're like, okay, well, she's not going to answer me. I've already said, hey, beautiful, and she didn't say anything. So now I'm going to hit her with, tell me about Mandy's meals or tell me, because I'm like, maybe I'm just being defensive. Maybe they really do want to. So I'll answer them. And then I'm like, you know what? Have respect for my time. Don't do that.
That's right. That's right.
I get the same thing with my art a lot. So, it'll be like, hey, I'm really interested in that painting. They will take, and there's a lot of things that go into my painting, sizes, pressing. So they'll take up a good amount of my time and then just be like, so can I just take you on a date? And I'm like, what about that painting? I mean, if you were to buy a painting, you'd probably get a date out of me faster, but don't just like that. I mean, I'm so busy throughout the day and I'm a single mom and I'm full-time artist. So it's like, I have to hustle. It's like, why are you wasting my time? Why are you even putting the idea in my head that, oh, you might buy this really expensive painting that could help me out this month? Just to be like, just kidding. I just want to take you out to, or whatever.
I'd be like, your
It's
date
horrible.
is a mural. I'm going to pay. You're going to hire me.
5-year-old, get a date with it. Hey, that's not bad. Might start on that in there.
You will get a date while I'm painting on your wall. Okay. That's your date.
You could feed
And
me
it's going to cost
wine.
XYZ.
And then they wonder why you don't want to answer. And that's, I get I've had comments in my Facebook, rude comments where they were like, well, the guy that you're waiting for is probably in your DM, but you don't answer him. You don't answer your DMs and I'm like, you know what? Maybe he is, but because of all you jerks that are playing, I missed him because really at the end of the day, it's some guy commented on the thing that you about that. He said, "Oh, it must be so bad to be so wanted." And I'm like, "But you're not wanted.
You want my friends. You want everybody."
50 messages that you've gotten in the last couple of days. There's nothing special about them. They're not truly interested in investing in me. So it doesn't make me feel good. I'm not getting on a high horse over it. I'm not like, ooh, yeah, I'm hot because these guys are in my messages. No, because they're in 50 other women's. Most of them. I'm not saying all of them, but most of them are. That's the trend. And so then guys get mad at you because you're like, listen, I don't have the energy to sift through. Unfortunately, honestly, I'm a genuine person and I don't have the time, nor do I have the energy or the desire to sift through and try to figure out who is genuine in my DM. Don't. And I feel like if you're truly interested, there's enough information out there, you could figure out another way to talk.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, here's a good one. I had one guy reach out to me and he's like, so what about your friend Amanda? And I already knew she wasn't going to be interested. So I was like, there's no way, dude. She's not. And he's like, well, what about you? And I'm like, for real, bro?
What about you?
No. He's like, what? Yeah, great. I'm your second choice.
Yeah, that makes you just want to jump right on it.
You know what? Yeah, Amanda's not interested, but I didn't even talk to Amanda. I told her, I'm like, I made the decision for her because I already knew. So what makes you think I'm going to be? Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's a jungle out there for real.
Okay,
but my next question now, after you dated someone, like, I think this is also valuable information if you have someone that you've been dating or that, maybe you're on a date with or whatever, and they're like, what's your pet peeves with that one?
I think the love bombing and being too much up front and not opening doors. I'm a big thing that I really enjoy having the door open for me. Just be a gentleman. I'm definitely not splitting the bills 50-50. If you do that, I'd probably sprint with my high heels on.
So I heard this thing, Leah, about that. There was a lady I was following on social, and she said that she's like, if a guy, especially on the first date, if he wants me to split half and half, and I adopted this myself, I was like, this is good. If he wants you to split, she said, I'll pay the whole bill. I'm like, no, I'm not splitting it. I'll pay the bill. And then I will pay it and I will never speak to him again. I will like block him on everything and never speak to him again. And I just thought, it's not worth, I'm not sitting at a restaurant with someone like arguing back and forth. I'm definitely not gonna save myself the embarrassment. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll pay it. Just please
Definitely.
never, ever just lose my number. Yeah.
And if they immediately start talking badly about their ex, so I've been on a few different dates and they have started talking badly about their ex. They're like, oh, I have to pay her so much, she's crazy. And I'm like, okay, first of all, it's probably you. You probably made her crazy. And then they start talking about how much money they have to do to support their own children that they never see. I somehow talked two different guys into sending their baby mamas money for their kids while on a date with me. I'm like, you're welcome, girls. And that to me, like, you don't talk crap about your ex. You don't, say how horrible she is and how crazy she is. Like, because immediately I'm just like, this, I'll never speak to you again. Like,
big red flag.
Being in an abusive relationship and him saying that I was the crazy one who did, everything. I'm like, so anytime a guy says that to me, I immediately just go, what have you done to her? If she is crazy, what have you done to her?
Yeah. I think dating is hard for both sides. I really do. I think it's hard for both. And like if I was saying for advice for men, on a first date, I won't let them pick me up. I meet them. I do respect when they offer. They get points.
Yeah, that is nice.
They get points for that. And I do expect them to, if we go on a date after that, for them to pick me up. I feel like it's a job to do. Do they have to? No. Am I not going to see them again if they don't? No. But I do expect it. Like I want that. I want him to pick me up, come to the door. I like that. The open the doors thing is kind of big for me too. But the biggest thing is like via conversation. If they lead with money, like they're bragging immediately, I feel like that that they're insecure in themselves and who they are and their personality. So they're leading with that. And that is a huge turn off. I met a guy one time I was meeting him at the restaurant and I said, okay, I'm here. Am I meeting you inside? Or are you outside? And he's like, oh no, I'm outside. I'm standing in front of my car. And I'm like, okay, where he's like by the door. So I come up and he's standing in front of kind of car it was because that's irrelevant. But he's standing in front of it and he comes walking up to me and he's like, nice to meet you. So great that you actually look like you. That's a cute one when they say that all the time. But he's like, that's my grocery car. I'm like, you're what? He's like, it's my errands car. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
And we go inside. We're having dinner and every girl I've ever been with has used me for money, but that's all he is his money the whole time. That's a huge turnoff. I'm totally like when it's that, or when I talk about their ex, like sometimes it comes up in conversation. I've even talked about my ex in conversation just because it happened to come the way the conversation went. And I'm okay with that. But if it's like really dogging them or if it's the mother, they're huge to me. If you're talking badly about the mother of your children, I'm kind of like, I'm good. Like, just don't do that. If that's like for advice for men, don't do that. I just feel like there's something that gives me the ick for that. Ex-girlfriend is one thing, but the mother of your children, you should have a different kind of respect.
I agree. Well, because what's he saying to the kids about her? He's talking to her like that about you.
Exactly.
Talking to you about her like that. But I have this one guy stands out in my mind. I'll tell you guys this funny story. So, and this is a huge pet peeve, and it went on my list of like red flags, cut them off after this. But we had gone to dinner, and he's telling me that, well, he's like, I'm ready to start a relationship and this and that. And I'm like, I'm not there. Like, I'm not ready to have a relationship. I'm not fully healed. I'm like trying to work on my business right now. I'm working on my life, working on my kids. I'm very busy. I don't have the time for it. And he proceeds to tell me how wrong I am, that I'm just like his mom and that I have a son and my son needs a father figure. I'm like, my son has a dad. He's called my ex-husband. But it was so comical. And he got so mad at me because I just wasn't ready. And it was like, but he proceeds to tell me why I was ready.
I had a similar one. And Amanda, you've heard about him. I'm very new to dating. And so I had a guy 19 days in confess his love for me and that he was completely in love with me. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're not in love with me at all. And just tell me, he's just like, you can't let your ex hold you back. And I'm like, it's not about that. We've known each other for 19 days and you're already saying I'm in love with you. You're gonna move in with me because he doesn't have a house.
There it is.
And he's like, I think you're the broken one and you need to be healed. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I had another one that did that too. He told me he said, you're still letting your ex-husband control you.
yeah, you're like, no, sir, I just don't want to be in a relationship with you.
Yeah,
Right?
same.
It could be late. I mean, but no.
It's crazy. So out of all these things that we've talked about today, if you had advice to give to especially like the younger generation of women or women that are newly getting back on the dating scene, because that, when I first come out of my marriage, it was like, I don't know how to flirt. I didn't know anything. I felt like a thing in the dating world.
Same.
I stayed completely single for a really long time.
And awkward. So I'm like,
same.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if I'm the one to give advice. I think just take things slowly and do not sleep with a man right away. Don't do that. That would be my best advice. Other than that, I don't think I'm the one to really give advice. I don't have a track record.
Trust your gut. Trust your gut. And if gut tells you that it's off, then it's off. And
Yeah.
believe that before you catch feelings, because as women, once those feelings are there, so I believe I would say trust your gut, and then I would say don't expect. I feel like I was saying, nowadays people expect, oh, he's not into me if he doesn't text me all day long. I don't want somebody to text me all day long. I got twisted.
No, that is another thing. I don't want somebody like completely at my back. Like,
Yeah.
I have my space. I'm busy. Like I do.
A lot of young people, they're like, he barely texts me. I'm like, did he text you and ask about your day? Did he at least did he reach out a couple times? If he did, that's good. He's showing interest. You know what I mean? And so a lot of younger people, they think that you're supposed to text all day long this person. And if not, then they're overthinking. They're thinking it's, that he's talking to other girls, he's this, he's that. And it is hard because nowadays the access to so many people is there, but you have to just let go of that. And it's okay. They can talk to whoever they want to. If they're for you, they're for, and if they're not, they're not. And you have to be okay with that because you're not for everyone and everyone's not for you. It took me a long time in dating to get
that. And Amanda, tell them to stay the heck off that. What is it? Are we dating the same guy? Because that is just full of toxic ass women. And I love women. Anybody who knows me, I'm a girl. I love my women to death.
Yes.
But they are crazy in there. Like, it's okay if a guy goes on a date and doesn't call you back. He just wouldn't, it's okay. And they'll just be like, he's a horrible person. I'm like, no, he's not. He just wasn't into you. So stay away from that.
Yeah. That page is full of a lot of toxic stuff. It's like, hey, I just matched with this guy. Any dirt? You didn't even meet him yet. Like, you're already looking at bad things, It's a bad page. I lasted I don't know, maybe a few weeks, and I was like, I got to get off of here. I just can't. It was terrible.
It's a lot.
Yeah. But I think it's just understanding and not taking it personal. I always felt so bad when it's usually me saying, hey, I don't really, anything other than friends is not what I'm feeling. And I hate saying it, but people nowadays, they ghost because they're cowards. They don't want to, they don't like,
Yeah.
So they just don't say anything to you at all. And I try to treat people how I want to be treated. Right. So I will tell them it sucks, but I will tell them. And I'm totally okay with being told the same thing. The last not, I literally said to him, because he was making a joke about something about that he wanted to get a drink instead of dinner because if the conversation wasn't good or whatever, that he wasn't stuck for a whole dinner.
But never mind, we're not doing this
right away, right? And so I was right away, and I said to him, I said, honestly, I'm 100% good with you saying right to my face that, yeah, I don't think this is it. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, I've gotten very comfortable with the fact that, like I said, almost everyone I go out with, when I go out, obviously, I'm not feeling a connection because I'm still single, right? So everyone's not for me, and I'm not going to be for everyone, and that's okay. And I think the other people, they take it too personal. Evil. I'm saying younger. It's now too.
Yeah, I
He's like,
agree with you 100%. And if I had to give any advice, I would say this, just especially for younger ladies, like focus on yourself. Focus on yourself, your growth, focus on becoming who you want to be. Focus on learning who you want to be. So many people don't even know what they want to be or what purpose they serve in life. And I would just say, like, once that's, I'm not saying I know everything because don't know hardly anything, but I'm just saying I do believe that it worked for me in my experience, that when I focused in on myself and focused on learning and focused on doing the things that I felt was beneficial and purpose driven, that's when I started to really learn myself. And I think that when your focus is on that versus I have to find somebody or I have to be with somebody,
Mm.
like let go of that idea and then just relax in who you are and trust that the right person is going to, like, energetically and in frequency, and I don't know what people believe. They believe in God, that God's going to bring the right person to them or whatever. But I do believe trying to force something is never the answer. And I think when we try to force, it takes the experience out of it, and it takes the process. The process of becoming who you're supposed to really become.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me, and I'm I'm taking this advice. It's some good advice. Just saying.
Well, thank you. I've done a lot of self work, and I know you both of you ladies have as well. And I think this is why it's so important for women to talk and just fellowship in general, women, men, everything, but specifically for women to talk on these topics because we need other women to kind of like, if we're feeling a certain way, it's so easy to feel like we're alone in that. And we're not alone. We have so many other women
Yeah,
that are feeling that same thing, and we need to make these topics more common.
right, right. And you're
absolutely.
focusing on yourself. And I was thinking that's great, but I've noticed that when I'm too focused on myself, sometimes that's when I'm most miserable. And what I mean by that is because I'm so hyper focused on all of my thoughts and my feelings and all those things. But I know you were focusing more on the growth of yourself and being, doing the things, finding out what lights you up and those types of things. But I wanted to add to that is I learned way too late in life that focus on connections with other females, like real deep connections, not
Absolutely.
the, the catty group thing, because women can be vicious, but I mean real connections with women that you focus on flourishing that because when you have a couple, because usually it's about all you can get, but a couple of females that you have that with, that really is so empowering for a woman,
Yeah.
and you don't
Yeah.
feel alone and those types of things.
And thank you for clarifying that because that we live in a culture where it's like if you say focus on yourself, people's like I need to go get my hair done, and my nails done, and all these things, and that's so I appreciate you clarifying that because that is I agree. Focus on your passions and your purpose and where you're supposed to be doing in the world. Like what can you contribute to? You doing Mandy's meals? I mean, that's you probably find yourself in doing that because it's purpose driven. And same thing with you, Leah, doing your murals. You probably
Mhm.
can reflect and learn things about yourself and really like it's almost meditative. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, for me, when I do photography, it's like that. It's very meditative. So, but yes, definitely all of those things.
Yeah, I feel like also, um, when you ask not just females, males too, if you ask them, what do they enjoy? What sets them on fire? What do they love? A lot of people can't answer that anymore.
That's true. That's true.
They have no
It's
idea.
sad.
They don't even
Yeah,
know
it's
what
really sad.
to ask people. What, like outside of a partner, outside of those things, what makes you happy? And I have had more people tell me they don't know than be able to elaborate on that. Like what lights you up. I know what lights me up. I love making a difference in other people's lives. No matter how minute it is. It is something that like teaching people about nutrition and doing my deliveries. Like I've had people say, hey, let other people deliver for you. Why are you doing all that? It's like my favorite part. I get to talk to my clients, the high five, I just lost 10 more pounds, or I just got off this medication or whatever it may be. I'm like, that makes a difference because all the other stuff is hustle. Those things, the connections and the knowing that I'm making a little bit of a difference, having people tell me when they get home, oh my gosh, I love coming home after you've been here. This house smells so good. It looks so beautiful. Those types of things. And I'm like, yeah. Now, when I was doing it, was I actually enjoying it? Sometimes I'm like, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing this. But it's those things that's making a difference in people's. I learned what really sets me, like, makes me happy, whether it makes me rich or not. But you know what I mean? And I can say that when someone says, what makes you happy? I'm like, just making a positive impact on a person. I mean, it has me floating and people can't answer that. So again, with you saying focus on you, figure that out. Because it should be
Absolutely.
somebody else. It shouldn't be someone else that you're waiting to make you
You
happy.
got to be happy alone. You have to be 1000% happy alone.
Well, at least know yourself enough to be
Yeah.
happy, and then someone can add or take away from that, and then you.
Yeah, they can add that.
Yeah, I don't think there's thought. A lot of people don't think. We're so inundated with social media, with media in general, with television and all of the things. I find myself picking up my phone constantly. If I just find 1 minute of boredom, I'm like, let me scroll for a moment.
Same.
And I think that people don't take time to meditate. They don't take time to really think and figure out what it is they really like. It's hard. It is hard to do it in today's culture, but it's so necessary.
Like literally, it's life changing. Because when I was divorced 10 years ago, if you asked me what made me happy, I had no idea. It would bring me to tears.
That's right.
I
Me too.
It's myself.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get that then. It's a terrible feeling. So once you realize, like, it's different.
Right. Not doing that again.
Yeah.
Not losing myself again.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Do you guys have like closing remarks or anything you would want to leave my audience with before we close up tonight?
Go ahead, Leah.
I don't. I think we've covered so much. I'm like, now I'm just thinking that my weird artist brain is like off in La La Land. So no, just both of you I'm happy to have both of you in my life now. And just like you said, going back to that female connection, that is a huge thing. And if I don't think I was like I said, with my relationship, it was a very bad thing for many years. And had I not have had the female connections that I had or have now, I don't think I would have ever left it. I don't think I ever would have left it and been strong enough to. And I have my ladies now, and I'm like, what? Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
That's right.
For the females, definitely make sure you're making those connections and surround yourself with people that you feel like are better than you. It helped me grow so much, so much. And for the men, I would say be creative if you're going to send a message.
Yeah, that's put some effort into this.
Because it really does make a difference. There has been times now, a lot of times I've probably missed some but if I'm in my phone and I can see the preview of the message come down, and if that preview I'm like, oh, that seems genuine. I'm clicking on it and I'll actually read it. And I don't mean to sound like, oh gosh, get to have a shot. That's not, but come on, guys. Like, you know what I mean? This is really the main way that people meet now is online, unfortunately. Because
pick either Amanda or I. Don't message both of us.
Yeah, I'll be out and I'll get a message after saying, I saw you well. You looked really good. And I'm like, but you didn't say anything to me? You waited to send me a message? That's how bad it is. So if this is the way we're going to meet, at least pour some effort. Don't do the hey beautifuls and stuff. It doesn't work. Hey, how are you? No, it's not gonna cut it.
Yeah.
Do something to let it be known that this
Stand out.
But an effort in this message.
Yeah, you got to stand out.
Yes.
I did have a guy who got my attention. He asked me for my Venmo, sent me like $50 and said, I just wanted to buy you lunch too, or lunch was on me. And I'm like, okay, sir, you have my attention. Not saying you have to do that, but you know what? It did get my attention.
I mean, it's creative. It is a kind of creative, unless he was doing
it to like,
well,
that was really sweet. He didn't even ask me out or anything. He just wanted to. I was like, okay.
Yeah. No, it's very creative. I mean, it's a great idea. And I think this is in anything where you want to get noticed and you have a lot of people that's bombarding that person, whether it's a mentor, a job, or whoever, you need to stand out and be creative in how you can stand out. The dating market has become a cesspool of craziness. And I think online dating and social media has contributed to that, because now it's not just like I can know someone on a personal level and talk to them. Now it's like I'm watching their stories and I'm commenting on every one of their stories, or I'm jumping in their inbox, and it's just, I check so many messages for work. It's really hard for me to entertain that in my personal life. So I'm like, please, I like phone calls. I like traditional phone calls.
And so do I. Pick up
I
the
mean,
phone. Like if you start talking to a female, I find it so attractive when they just call and don't even ask first. I do.
yeah, it's like a
Because when we
sense of
ask,
confidence.
you have my phone number, because I'm traditional that way. I'm very old school. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, if you have my phone number, you can pick up the phone and call. If I can't pick up, I'll text you and say, hey, I'll call you back, or whatever. But I find that so attractive because everybody just texts their way into relationships anymore. And that's
Yeah.
why it's so disconnected to me.
It is. I
Yeah.
agree. Well, ladies, you guys have been amazing. We could probably chat all night long, but we'll keep it at a minimum. We might do it again one day soon. Gosh, I mean, if you're listening to this, definitely follow these ladies. Get you a mural painted by Leah. It's just beautiful work, and it's on her social media. And Amanda, just, man, it's amazing what you're doing in your business and just everything that, I know it's very, very purpose driven. And so I can hear that your passion just come bleed through. So both of you guys, I can actually hear the passion. So it's wonderful to have other ladies in that sense. And if I just had to say one thing, I would say just, go out there and put yourself out there, but be careful because
Yeah.
it can be a little crazy.
Yeah.
All right, girls, thank you so much.
Hey there, friend. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending this time here with us on Through the Trauma podcast. Your presence means more than you know. If this episode has spoke to you or gave you hope or made you feel just a little bit less alone, then I would love it if you would take a second, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who truly needs to hear it. Every share, every comment, every listen, it all helps our message get out and reach those who truly need it the most. Healing happens inside of a community, and together we are breaking the silence and creating space for transformation. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You are not alone.